अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
MDH।
Arnab Goswami on the debate.
On the show tonight, the deepest geostrategic analysis of how India has executed its biggest ever anti-terror strike in a few minutes. At 9 o'clock tonight, a leader who keeps his promise. Prime Minister Narendra Modi leads from the front and absolutely silences the Lutyens lobby and the Congi brigade. First of all, Bharat Mata ki jai, Jai Hind, ladies and gentlemen. And to all of you, congratulations, because our country has struck the source of terror, the country that can only be identified with terrorism. A country where the business is terrorism, where the lifeline is terrorism. And we have struck in a manner that we've called their every bluff. The most important thing before I go into the detailed analysis of the strike itself is the fact that we have done it in a way that Pakistan could not even have dreamt of. You see, viewers, if you have power and you do not exercise it, that power is useless. You have to flex your muscles, you have to show your strength, and that is what we have done. The entire air defenses of the Pakistanis have collapsed. The Chinese gave them expensive air defense equipment. They completely collapsed. Our missiles, our drones went extremely deep, and we attacked them with all their cameras watching. We told them we will attack them, and we executed the attack, and yet we pulled out the element of surprise. And to this, the credit must go to the Prime Minister. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has led from the front. He has individually been meeting the Air Chief, Navy Chief, the Army Chief, coordinated with the bureaucracy, gone down to the details of the diplomatic preparation and the diplomatic response, but most important after that, trusted a person. And that's the picture of him meeting the President of India today. That's the picture of him meeting his entire cabinet today. And it gives us a sense of great pride, ladies and gentlemen, that we have a Prime Minister like Narendra Modi who takes no chances, who knows what risks to take, and who always puts national interest first. Another person we must credit today. A very quiet person, a person who speaks very little, chooses to be extremely low profile, but is a man of immense experience and a treasure of information, and absolutely, let me say it without a shred of doubt, ladies and gentlemen, a wizard of strategy, and that is Ajit Doval, the National Security Advisor, coordinated all of this. I've spoken to several people at various levels, and what we learn is that the National Security Advisor, Ajit Doval's role was very, very critical in working with the Army, Navy, and the Indian Air Force. Ajit Doval is very focused on covert action, on information, and on intelligence. And the most incredible thing about this attack was that when we launched Operation Sindoor, post-midnight, hitting the terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, from where the terrorist attacks have been planned and executed, all these 9 sites were targeted extremely well. And that's where the role of the NSA came in. They were surgical, selective, and totally precise. They were focused. They were non-escalatory in measure. The NTRO identified and confirmed the targets. And after the targets were identified, for a period of time, they were under constant surveillance, so that we were clear that these were precision strikes. We were not wasting our weaponry on the Pakistanis. And the final clearance was approved by NSA Doval after he was completely sure that the timing was right, the locations was right, and the strategy was right. Of course, then the defense forces came in on the levels of execution, which happened at various levels. So we must begin by complimenting the strategic guidance of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the fantastic strategic thinking of Ajit Doval, ladies and gentlemen. We are proud to have them in the positions that they are because we feel safe when that happens. There were various key targets which were hit under Operation Sindoor. Each one of the targets was a strategic move. I will now proceed to show you some of the targets and tell you about it. Ladies and gentlemen, Markaz Subhanallah, Jaish-e-Mohammed base in Bahawalpur. I'll show you the before and the after when the place has been reduced to rubble. Now, the pictures you see are of Sayyidina Bilal, which is in POK, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the main center of the Jaish-e-Mohammed in POK. It is the Muzaffarabad Jaish's local office. It had about 100 cadre in this facility. The photographs have been received from the phones of killed Jaish terrorists. I will proceed to the next picture. You just need to see the before and after of each of these individual locations. Yes, the next picture on your screen, the before and after, which is on your screen, is, I think, from Kotli Gulpur. And that's a very, very important center, ladies and gentlemen, of the Jaish-e-Mohammed. The Kotli Gulpur. If you see the pictures, you will see that it's been reduced to rubble. This is a mix of satellite pictures. These are places where high-profile operatives have been working. Kotli Gulpur, ladies and gentlemen, which is in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. The next set of visuals today is from Bhimber in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. The next set of pictures which I have for you is Kotli Abbas. Kotli Abbas is a critical Jaish-e-Mohammed stronghold led by Qari Zarar, a close aide of Abdul Rauf Asghar. It had a capacity of 125 terrorists. This is the key to infiltration routes and terror operations in Jammu and Kashmir. This is where they indoctrinate people and send them. Many of these pictures have been received, of course, through intelligence agencies, and some of the pictures we're showing right now are of the moments of the attack. The next picture I'm showing is from Sialkot, ladies and gentlemen. And I have a video which has been received from the Indian Army of the attack at Sialkot. It's completely reduced to rubble, ladies and gentlemen. This was number 8 out of the 9 strikes which happened early this morning. Viewers, when you attack the terrorist infrastructure, you are aware of the locations. And this has been so precise that 10 members of Masood Azhar's family have been killed in the strikes. As I continue to show you the pictures of the before and after of the 9 sites, these are all sites that have been very actively supporting terrorist operations, and the Pakistanis did not expect a coordinated strike. Ladies and gentlemen, Jaish-e-Mohammed Chief Maulana Masood Azhar acknowledged, and as these pictures and the videos were released of Operation Sindoor in a very cool and calm way by the Indian Army, and it was very important today that when that press conference happened of the Indian Army, there was one officer of the Indian Air Force, a lady officer, and another lady officer of the Indian Army from the Signal Corps who did the press conference. There was a great deal of symbolism in that, because after the Foreign Secretary spoke and put out his statement, the information about how we carried out the attack, the presentation was made by lady officers, and that was so fitting. That is why this is Operation Sindoor. So fittingly named, the Prime Minister called it Operation Sindoor because it was an operation of vengeance. Because so many men had been killed because they were identified as Hindus and killed in front of their families, their wives and their children. That's why it was symbolically called Operation Sindoor. Viewers are calling me tonight saying, how do we expect Pakistan to react now? Well, you can never really take anything for granted, can you? There has been a lot of heavy exchange of fire, especially around the Poonch sector. We have had reports that in Mendhar, an Indian Army personnel has been killed. I got the news in my newsroom, unfortunately, 45 minutes back. So there is intense exchange of fire, Mendhar, Poonch and these areas. And the Pakistanis are trying to target as many civilian areas in India as possible. Could this escalate? I cannot say. It much depends on how the Pakistanis want to move up the escalatory metrics. However, my hunch tonight, and we'll have to be very watchful, my hunch tonight is that the Pakistanis realize that this time Narendra Modi has called their bluff. In fact, Khwaja Asif, the defense minister of Pakistan, has put out a statement saying that Pakistan is, quote, ready to wrap up these things. He's been saying, and he said, we've been saying all along for the last fortnight that we will never initiate anything hostile against India, but if we are attacked, we will respond. If India backs down, we will also definitely wrap up these things. They are so horrified and taken aback with the intensity and depth to which we have attacked and fired missiles on their soil that they really are beginning to make those noises that we want peace. However, we cannot trust the Pakistanis. We know the kind of people that they are, and therefore Operation Sindoor, one of the highest level sources in the government told me that if the Pakistanis want to escalate this, we are ready with Operation Sindoor too. And let me tell you tonight, before I play my first news package, the one thing Pakistan does not want and cannot afford tonight is Operation Sindoor 2. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to share with you as I bring you this broadcast. Republic Media Network is under attack by the cyber teams from Pakistan. Our website went down, but they couldn't go very deep. As I bring you this broadcast from the campus of the Republic Media Network, our entire teams of Republic Digital are fighting. We got a screenshot there for you, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to tell you this, that the Pakistanis know that so many of you are following the accurate news on the Republic Media Network. That's why we've been targeted by the Pakistanis. But we're going to fight back. We're going to get back not just our website. We're going to teach these Pakis a lesson. Now let me begin with a quick news report. I've been live since about 2 o'clock this morning. About 2:15, 2:20, I was live, and this has been on non-stop. It's been a privilege to report the Operation Sindoor. It's a privilege to be able to show, as a media person, the determined response of the Modi government. Ladies and gentlemen, it truly is a privilege. It truly is a privilege to tell the world that we don't take anything lying down. This is a new Bharat. A report on the attacks this morning.
A little after midnight on the 7th of May, Indian Army and Air Force struck 9 targets inside Pakistan. Nobody saw it coming, not even those in this video. The strikes so precise that men who shot these videos confirmed the targets. Four Lashkar-e-Taiba terror launch pads, 3 Jaish-e-Mohammed camps and 2 targets of Hizbul Mujahideen were destroyed in the attack. India has changed the terror map of Pakistan.
That's Sayyidina Bilal in POK, Jaish-e-Mohammed camp. Before and after, before the strike, when we were monitoring the terror activity on the left of your screen, on the right of your screen, the aftermath of the attacks mapped through visuals. Next, Kotli Gulpur in POK, Jaish-e-Mohammed base. Before, while it was being monitored, on the right, that's a live image that we have put out, UAV tracker of when we struck. That is a missile striking. Next, look at this, Bimbar in POK, Lashkar-e-Toiba camp. On the left of your screen, how our forces were monitoring this particular location on the right of your screen. I want to stay on this because you can see the missiles being dropped in this particular visual on the right. On the right of your screen, ladies and gentlemen, you see that missile being dropped with love from India, striking the heart of Lashkar-e-Toiba. The most defining image as we kept dropping those missiles one after the other.
Republic led the coverage when it mattered. The news of strike on Pakistan broke in first on Republic. Republic team of reporters captured the historic moments.
There was a heavy shelling here which we have captured on our camera, and we have seen it at the top of the Menda right now. The heavy shelling which we heard, we don't know if it is at the top of the KG, Krishna Ghati or on Krishna Ghati. I'll ask my camera person also to be on the visuals right now because we hear heavy shelling right now in all across the area in the Menda region.
I think we can see an explosion. We hear an explosion. Jets here, jets hovering here right now in Srinagar, and we saw. I can actually smell some smoke.
14 days after the Pahalgam killings, India has hit Islamabad hard and given a befitting reply.
साथियों, प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी के नेतृत्व में हमारी सेनाओं ने ऑपरेशन सिंदूर लॉन्च करके पहले की तरह ही इस बार भी आतंकियों को ट्रेनिंग देने वाले कैंप्स को तबाह करके करारा जवाब दिया है। भारत ने अपनी सरजमी पर हुए हमले का जवाब देने के लिए अपने राइट टू रेस्पॉन्ड का इस्तेमाल किया है और हमारी यह कार्रवाई बेहद सोच समझकर सधे हुए तरीके से की गई है। आतंकियों के हौसले पस्त करने के उद्देश्य से यह कार्रवाई महज उनके कैंप्स और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर तक ही सीमित रखी गई है। मैं पुनः हमारे आर्म्ड फोर्सेस के शौर्य को मैं नमन करता हूं।
While India avenged the lives of 26 civilians, world leaders openly backed India.
No, it's a shame. We just heard about it just as we were walking in the doors of the Oval. Just heard about it. I guess people knew something was going to happen based on a little bit of the past. They've been fighting for a long time. You know, they've been fighting for many, many decades and centuries, actually, if you really think about it. No, I just hope it ends very quickly.
Israel envoy to India showed solidarity, saying that Israel supports India's rights to self-defense. Operation Sindoor hit Pakistan hard, and we are not stopping. Our forces are ready to respond if Pakistan attempts any misadventure.
Okay, we have a great panel again. General Bakshi, you're with us tonight, and General Dayal, General KK, great heroes of the country, all of them. Our very own Samarpal Tur been with us, and Saurabh Shukla, they get the Endurance Award because they've been with me since 2 o'clock in the morning yesterday. And we will be up all night if required today. If they dare to hit us back, Samar, we are back, remember? We're going to be back. If they try anything, we're going to hit them so hard this time. Right? Government said to me, by the way, Samar and Saurabh, quick word from you before I go to the generals, that if they try, we have Operation Sindoor 2 ready and Operation Sindoor 3 and 4 and infinity this time for them. Samar, how did you view this overall before I go to the detailed analysis?
I can only say in one statement, which is raat ki subah nahi. I mean, they did not see it coming, and probably they will never wake up and the prime targets who are still alive will live with this fear every day, every second, every minute.
Yeah.
When they look at the sky or when they are roaming around in the open area, they will think 10 times before stepping out now.
If I can just
Yeah, from Washington,
India
we have Saurabh Shukla. Yes, Saurabh.
India has hit the biggest supermarket of terrorism, that is Pakistan. We have done it for the entire nation and for the world, because they've been hit hard, and they have to realize this epicenter of terrorism has been destroyed, and everyone who has been a victim of terrorism anywhere across the globe should be thankful to our armed forces and the Prime Minister Narendra Modi for this decisive action.
Absolutely. And Saurabh's been monitoring this from Washington. He has covered many Trump events, and he told me earlier this morning that Trump's message was actually an endorsement of the Indian attack, that he was unambiguous about his views today. So the world is very strongly with us. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to now go to General G.D. Bakshi first. General Bakshi, what can Pakistan do next? And the statement of Khwaja Asif, I want you to analyze that for me. And by the way, General G.D. Bakshi is the best at wargaming in the country. He knows if anybody mentions how things can escalate, nobody in this country can do it better than General G.D. Bakshi. So please wargame it for us, sir. The Pakistanis are saying, we're ready to wrap up these things. Are they being conciliatory, or are they attempting to distract us with that statement?
Arnab, in the military, when we wore the uniform, we were taught never take your eyes off the enemy, never grow complacent, never. That is the cardinal sin you can make as a soldier, right? The simple fact is, let me just give a small preface. Today's operation, despite the total warning to Pakistan, we have achieved surprise. We have managed to carry out deception. The air exercise over Rajasthan diverted their attention when we hit them in the north, right? The Pakistani Prime Minister said 70 to 80 Indian jets attacked. What was your air defense doing? What were the Chinese radars doing? Like during the Iranian missile strike, they completely failed them. Right? Let me spell out some very harsh facts to the Pakistanis. Your Chinese missiles, early warning missiles, completely failed. All our, BrahMos cruise missiles, Spice and Hammer missiles have hit the target along with the loitering drones. Right? It is a perfect 10 on 10 strike. In this case, I would call it 9 on 9.
The visual of the drone.
9 on 9. 5 in POK, 4 in Pakistan, including the permanent, palatial camp at Bawalpur and the camp at Murid Ke. Blasted. And Asad Masood, 10 of his family members are dead and he's wailing. I hope he understands the pain that he has been inflicting on other families. So that is the preamble. Now what can Pakistan do? Immediately after the strike, the Pakistani ISPR said that they will retaliate. Then we had the image of the Pakistani Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif, recently out of hospital, telling Asim Munir that I am giving you a free hand. And Asim Munir was nodding like a schoolboy. The ISPR then claimed that they had hit across the line of control in the Poonch sector. They claimed to have targeted one of our brigade headquarters, and they claimed to have targeted one of our forward posts. In reality, they have killed about couple of 10 odd civilians, because of their artillery shelling across the line of control. So in actual practice, that has been the extent of their response. What can they do?
What can they do? We'll play that right
Pakistan can respond in a tit-for-tat manner with their Hataf 1s, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, with their Abdalis, Shaheens, M10, M11s, etc. Right? That is number one option. Second in the matrix of option is their F-16s are far back. They were trying to save them from the S-400s. Right? But they can use the JF-17s, the Chinese J-10C, 4.5 generation fighter, to try and hit Indian targets. If they choose military targets, if they choose civilian targets, Arnab, we would be extremely grateful to them, because so far we have confined ourselves to a proportionate and a just and a measured response. We have given them an off-ramp. Look, you can get off. We are still being generous to you. You can get off here and save yourself complete destruction. But should Asim Munir, fearing that he would be overthrown, fearing that he would be either killed or hounded out, right, like his predecessors, want to exercise the retaliatory option, you see, whether it is airstrikes, whether it is missile strikes, whether it is artillery fire assaults, or small-scale operations. Small-scale operations in POK, Trans-LC. The simple fact is, he will be opening a window of opportunity for India to now escalate and hit military targets in Pakistan.
Now, there's a lot of fear.
Real culprits are not the terrorists. They are expendable minions.
No.
Now we will go in for the military ISI complex. You will open the way for us by hitting back.
General Bakshi,
right? You will
I agree.
open the way for
General
us
Bakshi, there's already a lot
we
of...
will go in for Asim Munir and down.
There's already a lot of pressure on the Pakistani army, General Bakshi. And I want to play one soundbite that came to me early this morning. This soundbite came to me about, we sanitize all the information we get from Pakistan because some of that is propaganda warfare. But I got one soundbite, I want to play it for all of you before I go to General Dayal. And this soundbite, General Dayal, is a 1-minute soundbite of a terrified Pakistani as the Indians are hitting. Now, he says in this soundbite that there have been 4 missile strikes. 4 missile strikes on Masood Azhar's, where he stays, on his mosque, on his madrasa, on where he stays. And he says, where the hell is the Pakistani army? Where is our defense? And the man looks defenseless. And this particular video has gone viral. It tells you the mood in Pakistan. I want to play it, please.
पाकिस्तानी और इंडियन ने जंग शुरू कर दी है। अभी मेरे बहावलपुर सिटी के अंदर मौलाना मसूद अजहर साहब के जो है मदरसा है उसके ऊपर 4 मिसाइल दागे गए हैं। 4 मिसाइलों के साथ हमला किया गया है मौलाना मसूद अजहर साहब के मदरसे के ऊपर। हम अपनी अफवाज पाकिस्तान के साथ खड़े हैं, लेकिन मेरा सवाल है कि हमारी एजेंसीज कहाँ सोई हुई थी, हमारी अफवाज पाकिस्तान कहाँ सोई हुई थी जब ये हमला हुआ। मुजफ्फराबाद की भी खबर आ रही है कि मुजफ्फराबाद वाली साइड पर भी ये अटैक हुआ है, लेकिन सबसे पहले मेरे बहावलपुर सिटी के अंदर अटैक हुआ है ब्लास्टिक मिसाइल के साथ। उन्होंने हमला किया है मौलाना मसूद अजहर साहब के मदरसे के ऊपर। 4 मिसाइल मारे गए हैं। अभी ये कहना कबल वक्त है कि गोया कितनी सच्चाई है इस खबर के अंदर, किस साइड से ये मिसाइल।
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you saw that bite. General Dayal, this is the kind of reaction that is there across Pakistan. The Pakistani army, which pretends to be so strong, has had its back broken. And then there are visuals also, if I can play, or during the janazas or the funeral processions of the terrorists who have been killed. You have a lot of presence of the Pakistani military. They're standing there. Can I play those visuals? Their body language is very low. They're almost saying sorry to the Jaish-e-Mohammed and the Lashkar-e-Toiba. Like, we are really sorry that you got killed. We could not defend you. And these are the visuals. You're seeing there, Hafiz Abdul Rauf is in these pictures, a very, very top-level Lashkar-e-Toiba terrorist. This is the funeral procession. And you see a number of people in olive green, a number of army people out there who are there attending the funeral of the people who have been killed from the Lashkar-e-Toiba. Now, this is putting the Pakistani army under a lot of pressure. And you're seeing that the bodies of the terrorists, in this visual, you will see that the bodies of the terrorists are being carried by the army. The terrorists are being given state funeral. Are you seeing this, General Dayal? Their bodies are wrapped in the Pakistani flag and they are being given a state funeral. So there's a very serious situation in Pakistan that developed.
Yes,
very unusual, maybe first time ever. General Dayal.
Arnab, thank you very much. Since I'm joining you first time since morning, let me convey through you my gratitude and my salute to the Prime Minister and his political leadership.
Absolutely, sir.
And of course to our brothers in armed forces, our juniors, our armed forces, a great salute. You've done a wonderful thing. You've sent a message to the world, not only Pakistan, to the world, that India means business. Now, let me come down to the main issue which we have been talking about, the operation.
Yes,
just
sir.
sum it up so that we are in the correct perspective. It is one of the most beautifully planned, very nicely prepared, absolutely synchronized, synergized absolutely, and executed with complete precision, deception, and causing surprise to the entire Pakistani nation, their military leadership, their terrorists and everybody. And with so much careful planning, so much precision, that there is no collateral damage to anybody there except hitting the objectives. We have done no harm to the Awam of Pakistan. That is our message to Pakistani people, that we mean business and we wanted to hit terrorists and we have hit them. Now, Arnab, it is not how many number of people have been killed, but look at the message. We have hit their training centers, their command centers of terrorism and their launch pads of terrorism, and their terrorists in these have been killed. So that is the message that we have given. Now, coming to the confusion in Pakistan, coming to why they are there. Look, these are their people which we have been talking, Jal Bakshi, people like me, all the time, Jal Sinha have been talking that 50% of terrorists that are coming are actually Pakistani soldiers. They are not in uniform. They come in these, so-called Sarwar Kameez. They look like terrorists, but actually they are, and whatever you are seeing, these are Pakistani regulars. Those who have died, unfortunately, will never get any pension or benefits because they were in the terrorist camp and they were terrorists. So please don't take them as terrorists. They are actually their armed forces people. Right. Now let me come to the point that what can Pakistan do? Where can this go from here? Issue is that if something concrete was to be done by Pakistan, right? If Pakistan was prepared, look, we have completely suppressed his electronic warfare, we have completely suppressed his signal link, we have completely suppressed his air defense, then we have carried out these operations, no, with complete impunity, complete nothing he could do. So, and if he was so well prepared, which he have been talking, then probably all these missiles that we are talking, he would have launched in the night itself, no. That was the time to join the battle. But he did not, he could not, because he's not capable of striking you hard. What he can do is he's not interested in escalation. And if you go by the picture which the Prime Minister and the way today Munir is sitting in front of him, probably Munir is trying to look for a face-saving solution. It could be a deception, or it could be just a deception. But to my mind, he's looking for a face-saving solution where he will carry out intense operation along the LC, where Pakistan is well prepared, where Pakistan has been piling their reserves, their stocks, their ammunition. So we got to be very careful on LC. He may carry out some misadventure along the border, in the close proximity of the border, on our towns like Jammu, like Amritsar, like these, which are close proximity to the border, with their also standoff missiles which they have.
But they have to be...
And Arnab,
yes, sir.
last but not the least, this is not a message to Pakistan itself. This is a message to the world that Indian armed forces are professional. We are technologically much superior to our neighbors. We can punish, we can carry out strikes. These are the most precise strikes and in the heart of Pakistan. So it's a message to the world that look, Pakistan is a terrorist state and he needs to be dealt like that, and don't be his friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, does the world need more proof? I want to run again those pictures. Viewers are saying, can you show us the pictures? Can you show us your audio is through, sir, don't worry. I want to show the pictures full frame. Does the world need more proof that Pakistan's army and the terrorist infrastructure is one? You have visuals of them all together today. Can you distinguish between a terrorist and an army man in these visuals? You see, when we hit them so hard, then in their moment of grief, they are united, which means they have always been working together. And this is not the only visual. There are some other visuals also. This is the visual of Hafiz Abdul Rauf. And, viewers, all these visuals are reminding you, are pictures that will go across the whole world. And they will see that they were fooled. This whole concept of non-state actors, this whole word that was used before has absolutely no meaning today, because the Pakistani army is leading from the front in all the, the burials of the terrorists, and they're mingled together. These are the pictures which tell you the real story of Pakistan. Before I go to General KK and to Tilak Deveshwar, viewers, first of all, I want to tell you that thank you for your support to the Republic Media Network. As of now, I wish to share with you, since you are all our supporters and you've always been with us, and I know you will always be with our network, that there has been a massive cyber attack by the Pakistani cyber teams on the Republic Media Network. You see, this is the largest and strongest and most influential network in the country. They believe that they'll be able to get us, but they won't. I'll show you a screenshot of what they left. If I can put that out, please. But our fantastic, incredible, technical, digital, broadcast, IT, the complete technical core of Republic is fighting like an army tonight. And I can assure you we'll be up. The first time that they came in, they hit us. They couldn't get beyond the homepage. And they'd done a second attack, which happened about 7:05, and a third attack around 7:16. And we continue to be under attack from the Pakistanis, but we are fighting them. We'll beat them here too. Now let's go back to the news. We are not the story here. The point is the reaction today. The reaction of Khwaja Asif. There's a before and after. First he says, if we are attacked, we will destroy the whole world. Look at this earlier reaction around 6th of May. Can I play this, please? "10 seconds I'm told to wait. I'm just going to be playing out the first reaction of Khwaja Asif, and then I'll tell you what he's saying now.
अगर किसी इस किस्म की वो मेंटालिटी अगर मोदी ने अप्लाई करने की कोशिश की जो गज़ा में अप्लाई हो रही है, या जो नेतन्याहू अप्लाई कर रहा है, या जो नेतन्याहू के जो अलाइज हैं वो अप्लाई कर रहे हैं, उनको उसको मदद कर रहे हैं, उसको मुसल्लह कर रहे हैं, तो यहाँ पे आगे पाकिस्तान जो है वो उस तरह का जवाब देगा कि तारीख़ याद रखेगी कि किसी कौम ने आगे से जवाब दिया था। तारीख़ याद रखेगी।
सर, इंडिया पाकिस्तान
हम अगर हमारी एग्जिस्टेंस ख़तरे में पड़ी, हमारे ख़िलाफ़ इस किस्म का कदम उठाया गया कि पाकिस्तान को जो है खुदा न खास्ता जो है हमारी जो एग्जिस्टेंस है वो ख़तरे में हुई, तो फिर जो है अगर हम नहीं तो कोई भी नहीं है फिर।
Now this statement of May 6th is going to come back to bite him, General KK. खुदा न खास्ता, तारीख याद रखेंगे, हम नहीं है तो कोई नहीं. In other words, he said if India attacks them with force, then they said we will destroy the whole world. And today he's saying, listen, it's okay, you've hit us, we've been hit, but if you step back, we'll also step back. I want you to analyze this for us tonight. General KK Sinha.
Arnab, good evening and Jai Hind.
Good evening, sir. Jai Hind.
Let me first congratulate you. Let me congratulate you, the media warriors. You are leading an army of media warriors, and we being captain, let me congratulate you. And I think 140 crore people also must be congratulating through me to you. I think a great job done. Minute to minute, bringing out the facts on ground. It is not a joke. It is a challenge. And it is a strategic challenge, I take it that way, and you are facing a cyber attack on you.
Yes, sir.
I think you are dealing, I think, is very, very, credible. Now, your question. Let me first, you asked me about Khwaja Hafiz's statement of wrapping up operation and then earlier threatening, the finishing the world. Let me, first build up. This is what we have said. Our Foreign Secretary came non-escalatory. If Pakistan do a misadventure,
yes, sir,
retaliations, because this is a very clear, we have never done this. Because after the 16 and 19, when we did it, if we would have said, okay, you try and we give you back immediately, I think that is a credible deterrence you create to the enemy. You don't wait, or you wait for a strategic timing of your choosing and they do it. This is the first time India has done it. In the complete, you will see all the conflicts we have gone through. They did it. Even I say when they did it, 1919, the Kargil, we would have given it back in the same thing. We didn't do that. This is the first time, and it is not hollow. It is absolutely with a substance. See the targeting. When you say Sawai Nala, that is the Muzaffarabad, and Bhavalpur down, with the two centers, one is the center. Markaj, the meaning of Markaj is the center. The center, like we have a regimental center, like Sikh regimental center in Ramgarh. These are the centers, and every Pakistani regiment has got a Markaj. The two Markaj-e-Toiba, that is in Murudke, and Markaj in Bhavalpur. The people knows about it. Bhavalpur Markaj is in 5,000 acres. Out of that, they have constructed about 750. It is next to the cantonment. There is an AD system they have put. It is along with the National Highway 5, and there is a canal. A very, very strategic target where they have been carrying out the POP, passing out parade of all these jihadis who have been trained over there. And Pakistani army journals have been taking the salute of this, and there are a number of evidence when they have done it. This is what the Markaj is, and the way they have, they have been integrated. Now, the spread, you see, the spread is more than 1,000 kilometers. And the depth of the, when you carry out the strike is 100 kilometers deep inside, that is Bhavalpur. 30, 40, 18, Maritko about 18 kilometers. I am giving you the analysis of the targeting in this area. And you do the whole operation in 25 minutes. 1:05 and it gets over 1.25. 25 minutes. Nowhere in the world this type of coordinated air attack, in the military history, and we all are the student of military, I have not seen. It is never been carried out with such precision, and releasing the photographs of the damage assessment with the complete proof side by side. It is never, Arnab, you would take it that nowhere, including the recent Israelis attack, it has not been done. If they have been doing in Libya, they are carrying on in Syria, they are doing in Yemen, but this type of, I think, in a mind-boggling way, how we have got this, this capability. Now, coming back to Khwaja Hafiz. Khwaja Hafiz on 22nd, 23rd, 25th, 24th, when the Prime Minister said that, we will first strike. That is what the CCA meeting, and thereafter a briefing in that we are starting the water war. And he said, you try it, we will strike. We have done it, they have not done it anything. They have, it is, and the water of Chenab is more dry. Jhelum, it is starting off. That has got its own implication. And more important, one thing I think for your viewers, Ravi River, where it hits, the Kartarpur Sahib is there. There is a dam which I think getting inaugurated. I think you will cover up on 18th or 19th of May. The complete water, the last 3 rivers is going to be stopped. Not a single drop of water is going to go there.
Yeah.
It has got its own implications. Now, Khwaja Hafiz is making a statement, initially using cyber lightning. Then they are talking about the nuclear threshold. We are going to retaliate, finishing the whole world if it happens. and then you have come back and you say, okay, we are ready to wrap up the whole thing.
Yeah.
We have seen the time has passed. I think the second night is coming. Let's see what they will do it.
Yeah, we have to watch.
In my assessment, see, they are. No, we have to watch. We have to be absolutely on our toes.
Yeah.
We have to be absolutely ready. But I can tell you my analysis. They will not able to do anything. You take it from me because I am sticking my neck out. If they do it, I will be, my analysis will be wrong.
We have
but
to
I'm
put
just
it out.
sticking my, because they are in a deep sea. Yeah, they have gone, you see, this credible deterrence which we have been talking about, this is the first time India has, has able to do it.
Done it. That's the point.
History of Indian
absolutely.
military strikes.
Absolutely, General KK. I'm sorry to interrupt you there because I want to have enough time for Tilakji, who's been waiting patiently. We're doing a comprehensive analysis today. Ladies and gentlemen, deception, strategic silence, and clandestine work coming together with the straight-on action of the Indian Army is what has made this successful. What is clear to me, Mr. Deveshwar, is that the intelligence agencies and the intelligence apparatus of the country, including the NTRO, has really worked together with the forces this time to deliver this crushing blow. Before I get your reaction to the present situation, one video I want to play, Tilakji, and this is when a man in a car is going and there's a bombing. Very interesting. And then there's another bomb. He pulls out his phone. He starts shooting it. Then he said, "Oh my God," he says in Urdu. And then he tells the person sitting next to him, "Did you capture that?" Almost like he'd seen a UFO. The sheer firepower that they have seen today, the Pakistanis will remember, because we've hit them at home. This is not Bangladesh. We've hit them at home. We hit them deep in Bahawalpur in Punjab. This video is very telling. It's psychologically debilitating for the Pakistanis. Watch this.
देखना वाम कैसे आ रही है वहाँ से अभी वीडियो कैच होगी नहीं होगी वाली भाई हाँ देखना वाम कैसे आ रही है वहाँ से
So you know what happens, Mr. Deveshwar, these are the visuals which will now start circulating among the Pakistanis. One, their army and the terrorists crying together, the pressure from Imran Khan's party, Asif Munir's failure, the sort of retracting statements of Khwaja Yusuf, the indecision of Shehbaz Sharif, the fact that the Chinese have not really come out and helped them full frontally, wanting, like the Americans, a quick end to this. So it's going to have an effect. Now, how do we take advantage of this, and how do you see this play out over the next week, sir?
I sort of differ what the other panelists have said. You see, Asim Munir's position is so weak, and he's so much on the back foot, that to preserve his own position and to preserve the reputation of the army, he has no option but to retaliate. And I feel that the retaliation will be in 24 to 36 hours. Now, it can be just dropping ammunition in a deserted place, like what they did in Balakot, to show equivalence, to show that they have reacted. Because if they attack a civilian position or if they attack a military position, they know that the retribution from India would be devastating, far more devastating than what was done on the terror camps. So what option does Asim Munir have? They have no good options. Yet to prove to their people back home that yes, there is equivalence, we can take on the Indian army, they need to demonstrate that they are capable of doing something. And this, I think, is going to happen in the next 24 to 36 hours. There is a lot of fear. There is a lot of fear in the Pakistan army because they know they will not be able to sustain this campaign. I don't think so they have the capability or the capacity to fight for more than 4 days to maximum to a week. They don't have POL, they don't have ammunition, and they've had to move out troops from Peshawar and Quetta and bring them to this border. But they will have to do some demonstration effect that they cannot accept to their people. But one war that they are going to win or they are winning is the war of narratives, fake narratives. This thing that they have taken out an Indian Army brigade headquarters or they have downed so many planes. This kind of fake narrative, they are past masters because nobody can lie as much as what Pakistan can lie. But that apart, and talking seriously, I think we need to brace ourselves also for the next 24 to 36 hours.
Next 24 to 36 hours. Samar, you wanted to come in briefly. Yes, Samar.
Arnab, firstly, the bluff has been called out. There are clear and present, visuals of Pakistan army regulars standing side by side with terrorists. So this is definitely a documented proof today that they stand shoulder to shoulder with the terrorists, number one. Number two, if we calculate statistically, they do not have much of artillery ammunition. Maximum what they can rely upon.
But he's saying today that may be the case. But you see, Asim Munir is going to lose his job. He'll be thrown out. They will hang him. There's already resentment. So he will have to do something in his own act of self-defense. He's not going to be behaving rationally now. He's not going to be behaving rationally.
There has been a procurement of almost 50,000 kamikaze drones on the 28th of April by Pakistan from China. So let us not underestimate what the enemy is up to. But what I am saying is, as sir said, within 36 hours.
We have to watch for 36 to 48 hours. Yeah. I want to ask.
There will be a retaliation, and it might target our critical dams. Because at the moment they need water.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves on this one. Let's just stop right there for obvious reasons, Samar. They have said so. I know they want to target our infrastructure. Now, my question to Saurabh is, could they attempt to do that? There is global pressure. You're in Washington. You speak to the entire spectrum of contacts from different countries across the world. Do they have the capacity to do that? Would they want to do it is another thing. But can they do it is another. Can they actually do it?
See, Arnab, this is precisely what we have been preparing for. And I think besides the operational strike, this was a strategic strike as well. Because one, we have exposed Pakistan's terror infrastructure yet again. And all these funerals illustrate that they are hand in glove.
Visuals of that, please. The funerals.
They are the Pakistani regulars who were masquerading as terrorists, and that has been exposed. I can tell you from my sources coming straight from the Mint that as we do this broadcast, India is already engaging with some key UN Security Council members of the US administration, where they're being told that in case Pakistan decides to retaliate, India is ready with a plan.
Okay,
because this was not an action against Pakistan, or it was an action against terrorism.
I take that. So
India exercised right of self-defense.
Absolutely,
we are ready with a massive,
but we are realistic,
plan and also a diplomatic onslaught.
Yeah, we are practical about it. So I'll give a quick 10 seconds to all our key generals, starting with General Bakshi, on what they feel in a couple of sentences is the lookout for the next 24 to 48 hours. General Bakshi.
Look, I am convinced that for sheer reasons of survival, Asim Munir will have to react. Whether he does, in game theory, there is something called a strong reaction or a weak reaction.
Yeah.
If you want to de-escalate, you will react but give a weak reaction. But if you want to safeguard your throne in Pakistan, your ability to fire and hire prime ministers, well, then you better do something, and something which is you can't make a fool of your people like you did
can't.
In Balakot.
No, you
can't. Bombed some bloody empty set of bushes and claimed to have bombed our ammunition dump and things like that.
Yeah, I really think at a time...
So he will do something.
Yeah.
And it could, I agree, in the time frame 36 to 48 hours at most. At most. Generally, they try and do it faster. Swift response and all that.
Arnab, I think we all agree that he will take some action, but it will be a misadventure, and most probably along the border, somewhere close to proximity to the border, he will carry out some sort of a damage with standoff weapons, because he has and then he will look for a face saving through diplomatic or through his political leadership, which will intervene to
So he's going to look for a face saver. That's what you're saying. General KK, in a couple of sentences, very quickly from you.
He has to.
In my judgment, he can't do the self-harakiri. I think he will, this is the, you carry out analysis. They run away the first thing, not only in 71. If these people can leave their body and run away, I don't think.
Okay.
And this time, I'm telling you, Arnav, again,
everyone on.
This credible deterrence which we have created will fail if they retaliate.
I think we have an edge tonight, but we can't be complacent. Ladies and gentlemen, as of now,
of course, we have to be absolutely.
Yeah, and we have to be very careful. I'm so angry with the Hindu newspaper for what it has done today. I'm so angry, and I'm sure the country is angry and upset. They put out fake pro-Pakistan news, and then they put out a corrigendum. It's terrible, terrible. At a time like this, what the Hindu and some of these pro-Pak kind of other websites do is terrible. But from the Hindu, not expected, or maybe I should say expected, it's terrible what they did today. Ladies and gentlemen, on the other side tonight, why at a time like this, the Congress was looking crestfallen. When I'm back.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDA चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDA चटनी पुदीना मसाला।